that second map over on Legacy of the Qualifier. But for now, our first game is starting, so let's take a look, guys, at the beginning now of the Tournament of Legends. Jebro, take us away.
So at the moment, we do have a crossover of the Engineer and the Warrior on the red team at the moment, just crossing over towards the Henge. So Ken and the Warrior, they're going to bunker down on that point for a considerable amount of time, and actually kind of left the, they've left Drox in their wake, just crippling him off point there, so which is quite good, and they're just kind of 1v1ing each other just off Henge. So 2v2 over on the Henge. Currently in mid, we do have a 3 versus 2 situation in favor of blue at the moment. Mine, of course, is coming in now to the midpoint, which is Naya, who's just coming in to equalize that fight. Drox actually just went down over in the Henge, and the first finisher that comes out would happen to be the Llama finisher. Awesome.
Hashtag Llama Legacies. Anyway, so going back into things over here, back in mid, we are actually going to see a transfer from the blue team now, from Pandas with guns, moving their elementals back over there to their home row, considering, again, things are not going too well over here at the blue team's home territory. Mashed Potato going to fall into the downstate now, through the offense coming in here from Mr. Demon Lord, and Thistikin is just not going too well here for a blue team. They did have to pull their Ellie back, and again, the SD Ellie, or DD Ellie rather, being moved off of the mid fight, never going to be a good thing, as he does provide quite a bit of support, as well as the usual damage you would expect with that team fight. So it is definitely going to make the blue team a little bit weaker in that mid fight. But overall here, as you can see, things have in general kind of shifted away from mid. It was really just the 1v1, and it looks like we're actually going to be seeing Naya take that 1v1 there now as well. So with that said, very unfortunate over here for the red team, but this does mean obviously that our apologies, unfortunate over here for the blue team, but it does mean that our red team is going to get a pretty serious advantage at the start here.
Oh, the start is just so strong with these guys. No one from Blue's even gone or really had a chance. I mean, Drox making perhaps quite a big mistake in going to the midpoint, just engaging on the Ranger over there, of course, of Naya, who probably would have been better off trying to go for the close point of the red team, which currently Toast is doing. I believe he's the, is he the Bunker Guardian? Have we got 2 Bunker Guardians here?
Do we?
No, the other Guardian's build is, sorry, Meditation's build, is my bad. So Toast is just heading over there. Of course, that he's actually bypassing it now and going to mid, as he did come across Atastria there as well. So he's actually, you know, he's bouncing around the map. He's not really sure where to go, and people are just dying by the wayside over at Henge. So as people are spawning on blue, they're just going into their home node, and they're just kind of feeding the points at the moment. See, 115 points to 0. So Pizza with Nutella, they're really coming out quite strong.
Indeed they are, and again, these guys are veterans of the ESL Weekly Cup and playing a lot of times before. Last week, most recently, I think, managed to take in the 3rd and 4th place positions there. And ended up losing to High Impact, which actually could be somewhat interesting, because that's very likely the opponent they may face in their next round in their qualifying match. But again, taking on a new team here, kind of unsurprising, the results we are seeing here at the moment. But Pandas with guns still has plenty of chances to round it back around. We're only about 150 points in, but obviously, again, this is setting a pretty big precedent here for the rest of the set to come.
Yeah, and it's all about, you know, it's morale and stuff when you come into these games, and nerves, because these guys also, it's not literally, not only do they have to be good players, but they have to put up with the nerves and stuff that come with the situation they're in. So, you know, Pandas, we haven't seen these guys before really at all, other than literally I just saw a game, and they've got, looking at their builds and stuff, there's some experience lacking, but there's some potential here for these guys. And of course this map, you know, it's the first game, maybe they just need a bit of a warm-up. Hopefully we can see them coming into this map at some point, but at the moment it's looking way too strong for these guys. Saying that again, Mine is going to be slowly in control of red at some point soon, as Mashed Potato goes down over on that side.
Yeah, and indeed with Mashed Potato going down, things are going to start to wind down over here towards the mine fight. Drox as well getting knocked out once again over here by Atrastia. Nicely done. I've seen already about 1 or 2 times so far in this game, and he's managed to take him out on off-point engagements there. So Zeraldo just going to sit there, guarantee the kill, and we're actually once again going to see, unsurprisingly, Atrastia. We're kind of rotating over here. We do have to note that it looks like blue team might be starting to make a comeback over here at the Henge. Ken not doing so well here at the moment. Does have to bring down his crate, and thankfully both the crate stuns do connect, so we will be able to run over the healing kits. Unfortunately, though, his heal cooldown was still about 5 seconds away, so was not able to get himself back up. Thankfully, however, with the crate coming down and with him getting those med kits, he was able to buy himself enough time in order to get a Trasty over there. But once more, even though they did get the SR on him and saved them for that one time, with 3 players on him and the big burst coming in, and with it being the Trastia being the only other red team member there, there's not much that a Trastia is going to be able to do. It's going to be far too much corpse sleeve if he did go for the direct res on the Thistikin, and it would have resulted very badly. So overall, they are going to end up losing this node, but it does actually kind of end out better for them, because again, they'll still have a Trastia on the field here, and he'll be able to retreat to another node.
Yeah, now this is where we can see the really the kind of, I guess, inexperience, I will say, of Panda, which is nothing, you know, that's not a bad thing. That we need new teams in this game, and that's very, very good that they've come to play. But all three members of the blue team just ran off point to chase one person, and no one stayed back to cap. So that's a big, big, big error there from them. That is still like 5 or 10 points which they would miss, and it's something where in close games is something they really need to pay attention to in future if they need to. So it's just, well, sometimes guys will probably notice some stuff which will help your teams. If you're currently watching this, it will help you in the future. Maybe if you're playing in ToL at the moment.
Take a look at. Sorry to interrupt here for a second. Take a look at what was going on in mid there. Good gank from Drox onto a Atrasti there for a second. It almost managed to take him down there too, but it definitely did kind of rattle the red team here, as we did end up seeing with Atrastia going down. Drox was able to put enough corpses on to keep it down for quite some time, and they did get quite a bit of just a general AoE over the corpse, and that brought a couple of their members down quite low. Ken here at the moment, not doing so hot, just barely hanging on. Big Condi's coming into him here, and big CC from Mashed Potato at the moment. That'll be enough to take him down. Now we're going to see the butt. Looks again here, good coordination from the red team, almost instantly getting him back up there with the banner, and that'll bring Ken back up into play here. But so far, it looks like blue team may be able to round this back round here in mid, but unfortunately, kind of talking here in the long scope of the game for a second, it seems that while blue team is coming back now, the question is whether or not they're coming back too late into the game, because we look at the score here, it's already at pretty much 370 points for the red squad. Blue team's only at 56 points. So while they're definitely starting to get their stuff together, specifically in the fights now, I think unfortunately it did take them a little bit too long to kind of come back into this now, and due to that, more than likely we will actually be seeing a pizza with Nutella victory here in round 1, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I mean, we are seeing some definitely more comfortable now coming back into the game. Like you said, they really are starting. They did lose their back cap at the moment to, you know, but that happens to the best, you know, the top teams as well. They're just missing out on that bulk point. No one's really watching it, especially as they're getting those kills at mid. Someone needs to really pull back and try and watch that back cap as well. But Demon Lord going down at mid. Blue actually sweeping up now, and they've got 3 versus 1, so really someone needs to start moving out of this point so they can maybe back up a point or just secure the rest of the map. And no one's actually doing that at the moment, so another kind of a little bit of a mistake they can probably learn from in the future.
Yeah, the issue here in mid, unfortunately, though, is the fact that Zeraldo, the bunker guardian for the red team, is the last one alive. He's fairly tanky. Depending on his cooldown mitigation, he can keep himself up for quite some time, and it seems while he was up there, was managing his cooldowns he was managing his cooldowns quite well, and due to that, he was able to survive for about 20 to 30 seconds, waste a lot of time for the blue team here, because they did have 3 of their members sitting over here in mid. And even after they took Zeraldo completely down, Mashed Potato is going to still have to go up against Atrasti over here. Mashed Potato playing on an Eviscerate Warrior build. Might have some trouble versus the Warrior, but it looks like he's actually handled things quite well here, so he should be able to come out on top here for the blue team. But once again, like I was saying earlier, the blue team spent so much time trying to kill that Guardian, 3 of their members all trying to DPS him down, that red team was just able to come in there and make a clean sweep of the other nodes, and they now still hold control of both of the side nodes there. And with that said, their score is still going to be ticking up and up and up here. And like I said, not much else to say here. Looks like we probably are going to see red team victory round 1.
Yeah, I mean, impressive. Quite a lot of feast was actually take out the Warrior there as well, but with that build it's a little bit more difficult. But I'm just having a look over at mine to see the potential of blue in the team fight. They really, the Guardian's doing quite well. Toasty's doing some nice moves. He's managing his cooldowns well. He's not just spamming all his shouts when he needs to. Obviously, he's going to go down to 3 people just bursting him down there. There's not really much he can do. But you know, Red securing that home point. Blue actually getting a 2 cap now, but I think Red know that they're going to win. They just wanted to.
They're 5 points away, so they're just going to turtle their home node here, and blue team kind of realizes that too. So with that said, guys, round 1 here in this best of 3 set at the quarterfinals of Qualifier 1 Europe for the Tournament of Legends 2 is going to go to Pizza with Nutella. They will be 1 victory away from moving themselves on to the qualifier match and eliminating Pandas with guns right here. Now, Jebro, once again, let's kind of talk about this for a second. Round 2, it's going to be on Legacy of the Faux Fire. So how do you think, kind of talking about the things we saw here in match 1, how do you think game 2 on Legacy is going to end up going?
Now, one thing with blue team's comp as well is, you know, it's similar to comp kind of to, I guess, to other teams where they don't have a thief. It's very, very tough. The mobility of these guys on this map is going to be tough because they've got 2 Guardians. You know, obviously they've got swiftness they can use, but mobility is really, really good on this map. Mesmers and Thieves are good on this map. And blue probably feels like they might at the beginning try and like disperse their team across all points, but they need to try and maybe keep 2 cap that they kind of did towards the end of that game there. Because they've got, you know, the more bunkery team, I guess. I haven't actually looked at the LE spec yet. So I might be completely wrong. Oh, no, there you go. He can bunker down on the point quite well. I don't know, should we have a look at the blue team?
Yeah. So, like, kind of like just going off that anyway, what you were saying there, too, is, like, yeah. I personally think blue team has the potential to do a lot better on this map. Kind of talking again, like I said, like at the start of game one, things were looking, to be honest, pretty messy there for our blue squad. Their fights were kind of iffy, but it got itself together there pretty quickly as we got closer to the end of the game. They managed to take a 2-cap back. They were winning that mid-fight pretty confidently, so if they're able to pull that off and keep that momentum rolling here, and especially, again, if they take the initial middle fight here on this map, it's going to mean so much, and there is, again, basically, in my opinion here, a pretty decent chance that we could end up seeing a 1-1 from Pandas. It's just all about that initial middle fight and how they kind of carry it on from there if they're able to hold on to those fights. Because, again, it was a bit messy at the start, but they got themselves together pretty quickly.
They did, and they've got solid, you know, they've got a solid set of, you know, the meta builds, some of the best builds we see in this game. They know what they're doing, really. I really think it's got to do with, you know, the nerves and not facing teams like these guys before. Yeah. That really is going to be a factor. So enter cups, guys. Face teams like these, you get the experience, which is going to really help you in Tournament of Legends. But I think, you know, warm-up game for blue. Let's see them pull back into this one. I think they can do it.
So let's take a real quick look at blue team builds here before we do end up getting started. Again, Mace Focus along with a Staff, Cleric's Amulet. Pretty typical bunker build here for Toast. Again, very supportive build, very good at keeping his own teammates up and alive, as well as guaranteeing that they keep points decapped. And just in general, keeps the team fight rolling, keeps his own teammates alive and well. Drox on Thief over here, I believe, playing Dagger Pistol Thief. Apologies, no, Sword Dagger Thief with Shortbow. Berserker's Amulet, Runes of the Pack there, and then 20066. This is a pretty common build for Thieves, especially in recent months. Not as much damage as far as Thief builds go. Usually we're used to seeing something like 26006, which does a little bit more damage, but this build does offer quite a bit more utility, and with the Strength Runes that he's running here at the moment, he is going to, the longer he ends up in fights, get more and more stacks of might, which will kind of bring his damage up to the par of other builds that we're used to seeing. Shadow's Ellie, I believe, is playing the standard elementals build. Yup, he is. 00266 with Celestial, Dagger, and Runes of the Pirate. We've kind of already talked about this one. Very decent damage. Does kind of like that Thief we were just talking about. Actually, running with Runes of the Pirate won't get that effect, but it does decent damage as well as supporting his teammates. Cookie playing on a Meditation Guard with Scepter Focus, Greatsword, Berserker's Amulet, Runes of the Pirate, and 21614. This build very bursty but very squishy. And last but not least, we've got Mato over here on Soldier's Amulet with Hammer, Axe, and Shield. Kind of an interesting weapon combo, but will still be very effective as a warrior. Anyway, gonna have to rush there because the game's getting started. So Jebro, tell me what we're seeing here at the start of game 2.
Drox has been quite offensive already, so he's coming up 1v1 on Atrasti as well. So at the moment, Naya is going to hold the back point. 2 red members have gone over to the waterfall, so they've actually been quite aggressive already. So Mashed Potato has actually come back to team up with Shadow to just try and take these 2 guys on the point. Now, probably the main man they want to be focusing is Ken just off point, which is what Mashed Potato is doing. Drox is coming back in as potentially going to burst, but Ken's actually he's in a good position to just make sure the Thief isn't going to jump on him, although he did as he just came back into the point there, and there's going to be a massive team fight erupting over on the waterfall. At the moment, the midpoint is Toast versus 9. Now, Toast needs to potentially rotate out of that point, but it's really going to be a tough thing for them to do at the moment because they're really locked in, and Shadow has actually gone down over on the waterfall point. They need to try and get a res on him as soon as possible going into Mistborn there, just to try and position himself around his team. Not the best. Drox as well is quite low on HP, so can't go for that res, and the rest of the team struggling here. Mashed Potato is quite low and is about to go down, and blue team in a bit of trouble over here on the waterfall point.
And indeed, moving on from that, Waterfall looking very good to fall into red team colors here in just a second, with 2 of the members being knocked out and Cookie 2 being the last one alive, and with him being on a DPS card and probably will not be able to keep himself up and alive for too much longer, though he is keeping those 2 red team members at bay. Meanwhile, back in mid, you've got Naya holding for Pizza with Nutella. Atrasti returning from the fight at Waterfall will be assisting with this, but no, it actually looks like they're going to pull off it for the time being. Naya, having second thoughts there. Bit of miscommunication here with Zereldo coming back, but we've also got, once again, Atrasti trying to rotate over here to the Cory, but Drox, once again, doing a nice job at denying him of that here at the moment, trying to get his best on him. You see Cluster Bomb spam coming out here at the moment just to try and get some damage on Atrastia. Obviously having to be very careful of that, as if he gets by 1, maybe even 2 of those at his current health pool, he will fall into the downstate, but Atrastia will get the secondary engagement off, and these Thieves are going to engage their little ballet. Drox, though, again, with the extra pressure coming on there from Ken, he'll get knocked out now, and with that said, unfortunately, our blue team will probably face up against a 2v1 or 3v1 over on the core, which will more than likely end up with red team getting that node back.
Yeah, this is the problem they're having at the moment. They're getting onto the points, they're getting the decaps, they're contesting them, and then they're rolling in one by one or so. So they're getting the decaps, they're just not getting the points. Literally, they can decap, but they can't hold it for long enough. Like, red team's response time is just amazing, you know. It's better than the police's in the UK.
It definitely, personally, I think it has a little bit of issue to do with the team fighting. And again, these guys, we haven't really seen them play before, so we don't know like how long they've been as a squad together or how good their overall synergy is in team fights. But a lot of it, I think, is coming down to the rotations here as well. I've noticed them being somewhat delayed on calling for additional assistance on other nodes and stuff like that. They're kind of like the convenience of people showing up to points here is just not really showing up for blue team. They're very slow in that. I've noticed that they've had quite a few guys in the last game specifically where blue team would get reinforcements just as like almost everyone was dead at the point, so it would be kind of like mute at that point to get people on there anyway. So just things like that are unfortunately not making too effective of a game here for our blue team so far.
But looking at Drox, I mean, there's some nice moves are coming out for these guys. Naya just went down. He is up, of course. And then there's some nice moves coming out from these guys. There is some potential, but literally, like you said, it's just, you know, it's the experience together as a team. It doesn't matter if one person is the best player in the world. One person cannot carry these teams in this competitive play. It is just not the case. You need to work well as a team. They could all be just generally average good players. As long as their team fights are good and the experience and the way they play together as a team is good, then they can do very, very well. And there is potential here, but it is literally just the experience. Joz is actually running back over towards the waterfall point there to recap it. But look, again, Ken is moving in just to keep it contested, I think. I don't think Joz is going to be able to get the cap at all. So it's just red, you know, they're moving back to those points as soon as they get decapped.
Drox actually was doing quite a phenomenal job so far, I've noticed in this map, with not only just generally like going for decaps and making sure he gets those decaps, but also in kind of like avoiding his opponents here. I've noticed he has had quite a bit of an issue versus Ken specifically, but with everybody else on the red team, he's so far been doing an excellent job at not only avoiding them, but kind of taking them out in team fight engagements too. He's definitely, I know you were just talking about there like not being an importance of one person on the team, but Drox so far, in my opinion, is kind of the star of this blue team.
No, he's definitely, he is helping a lot, but you know, the thief is so important. I mean, you're a good thief. He is a very important person. And this, you know, I mean, on another day, you know, I mean, maybe he'd do better against Ken, but like with those conditions that Ken's dropping, Ken is one of the best EU engineers at the moment as well. So that's nothing to be, you know, not proud of yourself there. That's going to be a tough fight anyway.
Indeed. Especially because engineers are such a rare occurrence too. Some players may not be getting, at least like in high tier, engineers being such a rare occurrence. Especially on EU, I've noticed that some teams may not be like, you know, as prepared to face off against an engineer or something like that.
That's very true, man. It is true. Like, not many teams. We won't see many engineers in this tournament, most likely. But it is a shame because engineers are very awesome class. But this mid fight as well, you know. Cookie's just gone down on mid.
Drox may have an opportunity to save his teammate. No, Crate comes in from Ken, though, to deny that. Once again, Drox will still go for another attempt. Good clutch SR comes out from Drox, but at the same time, Ken comes in and gets a shield knockback. Big old bomb sitting on Naya's corpse here at the moment. Drox, unfortunately, does get interrupted by that again, and Drox so low at this point. Naya's gotten back up here, but so is Toast, as you can see there. Toast is now back up into play, but Cookie, once again, is dead over here in the corner. But with Toast now in the team fight, he's going to try his best to get Drox back up. Shadows Ellie also in play now. So now with blue team having the superior numbers for the timing, let's see if they're going to be able to turn this team fight around.
Yes, again, Drox, just like you said, with the SR as well, just after he came out from trying to get the down, and the supply crate came down for the interrupt. So very good move, obviously, from Ken. Probably some cooldowns that he didn't have his shield knockback. Again, another SR coming out, really good moves. This is just the experience coming out from these guys as well. So Naya's able to come out at the point a little bit stealth, but Droz is on the back, and then Naya pulling out that X5 just to wave them away as well, getting some condition removal on the point. And the boons coming out. If you have a look on red team at the moment, actually, and blue team, the amount of boons that is on these two teams at the moment is absolutely insane.
A lot of chaos just happened there in the mid-fight, so we're probably going to be seeing a lot of boons and conditions. Naya actually did end up falling into the downside, though. Thankfully, once again, Demon Lord had a banner ready to go, so they were able to get him back up through that. Shadows Ellie now in the downstate, however, and because he's already used Vapor Form, will not be able to get out of the way of the cleave coming in there from Naya. That'll knock him directly out, and once again here, we will be seeing Pizza with Nutella start to take a big advantage. But blue team doing work on the side notes here now. We can see once again Drox has gone in and tried to take control of of that node. It does have a decap, probably won't get a full cap, and he will have to go up against Demon Lord, who I believe is playing Celestial Hambo, if he wants to try and get that node back. Over here on the Quarry as well, as we switch our point of view over to that for a second, we can see that Atrastia is going up against Mashed Potato, and again, Atrastia with a hammer being in play might have a bit of trouble with this matchup. Kind of depends on how much he's getting CC'd and how much he's walking into, but if he can play correctly, if he uses his Shadow Steps properly, he can definitely win this matchup, especially again if he's going to be able to get Zeraldo in here to support him. But no, looks like Zeraldo is actually going to wrap back over to mid, because I think Atrastia said, nope, I got this matchup. What's up?
Nice. They actually just got the cap there as well. I thought Zeraldo was going to come in. That's a bit of a mistake.
No,
actually.
He's coming back. Oh, a bit of indecision there, but...
Yeah, but that was a good Mashed Potato doing some nice moves. Nice to see the hammer with the axe shield combination. And normally I guess it would be the longbow, but... In general
though, with the hammer in play, unfortunately Atrastia, if he wants to kind of camp on node, he's not really going to be able to do too much of that, just because, again, the hammer is going to be causing too much trouble. I'm actually, again, surprised because of the kind of unorthodox weapon combo we're seeing Mashed Potato running. If he was running longbow, he would have been able to have that matchup easily. I don't even think Atrastia would have considered engaging, to be completely honest, but again, the hammer still does put a lot of pressure on the point itself, and Atrastia did not really want to seem to screw around with that at the time.
And there comes the decap. He actually got round the back of him and was able to get that decap. So even though they're so far ahead to the point where getting a one cap for blue would actually not really matter too much, they're still, paying attention to the back point of their actual team, and they're doing a really good job of just watching this 1v1. It's a nice fight to watch, actually. It's really, really good job. And with that strength rune as well, that bird is so bloody powerful. But moving over to the midpoint, 3 versus 1 at the moment, and Droz is the one on the blue team as he's trying to keep it contested for as long as he possibly can. Doing a really good job there, actually, and now the red team can back up over at Waterfall as Shadow is versus Naya, and he's going to have a really, 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 really tough time at trying to take him down at the moment. Red team getting the 2 cap at the moment, or did they? They did get someone on mid, actually. Toast and okay.
Take a look at Quarry, though. That's starting to come to an end. We've been taking a look at this for a while now. This may be coming to an end soon, but no. Demon Lord comes in to mix things up and completely denies any kill that Mashed Potato would have been able to get. So with that now, Demon Lord, as soon as he takes down Mashed Potato here in about 2 seconds, will get back control of the node. Although that was a very close 1v1 and could have gone either way. Thankfully, however, apologies, Demon Lord was able to come in there, save the day, and guarantee that node for the red squad.
Now the game is going extremely slowly. Actually, it hasn't. I mean, it's not really snowballed.
By legacy standards, it's actually not too slow of a game.
It's not. It's. I don't know, but it hasn't. The red team haven't. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's snowballed like a lot, because a lot of the map has been contested for a considerable amount of the time. So you can see, like, with the blue have really improved.
That's the work. That's the work that blue team's doing, to be completely honest. A lot of that's Drox, because Drox is going left and right here with the decaps all over the place, and he's doing pretty good at kind of just ganking people on the roads too. So a lot of that delay in the point gain here for the red squad is coming in from Drox mainly. So he's again, that's kind of why I'm pegging him as kind of the MVP for the blue squad so far, because he's been doing a phenomenal job at delaying the results of this game for as long as humanly possible.
Mashed Potato again, he's getting the decaps as well. He's doing a good job, even for a warrior, going for the decaps. It's not normally something which, he's actually been quite mobile around the map, the way he's moving. Demon Lord coming in now over to the quarry to have that one-on-one, so that's actually probably going to go for a considerable amount of time. Mid-fight, they're all dancing around just off point now. Now, blue and red obviously keeping one guy on the point. Toast and Zeraldo just being solid, but Droz has just gone down just off point. Toast trying to get the res. Droz not able to get rest up at all, and unfortunately he's gone back to a 2v2, so it doesn't look like the support's coming in from Atrocity just over on the quarry point at the moment. So Mashed Potato is going to be in potentially a fair bit of trouble.
And indeed, let's go over to check his point of view out here, trying to keep himself up and alive, but again, Reflection coming out here from the Thief does knock back a little bit of damage onto himself, and with Demon Lord coming in there with the Earthshaker, that'll knock him right out, and once again, that'll flip the node right back over to a red team flag. Back in mid, red team has been trying to take control of this node for some time, but has been unsuccessful in doing so. Cookie, along with Toast, have been doing a nice job of delaying. Unfortunately, however, Cookie's time has come. He's now going to fall into the downstate. Zeraldo comes in with a stab stomp, and although we do see a steal coming off from Toast, does not manage to steal the stability and interrupt that, and as such, Cookie does get knocked out on the first attempted stomp by Zeraldo.
Unfortunate for these guys. I mean, At the moment, this really is going to be a red team game at the moment. We would love to see a comeback with some kind of Lord kill or anything like that, but I don't think Blue have really got the momentum to push that far so quickly. And Red really just, you know, they're resisting, they're countering Blue on every single move they're doing at the moment. So Blue really having a tough time at the moment, coming up against one of the best teams in the EU at the moment, who, you know, playing ESL, a new team as well. They're not an old team. I mean, a lot of these guys playing together on different teams as well. So they're doing really well, in my opinion. And there's definitely a lot of potential in these guys. So hopefully we'll see them again soon. But I can't write them out completely yet. But we do only have 2.5 minutes left in the game, and I don't think it's actually possible for them to come back whatsoever.
Yeah, unless we see a big 3-cap turnaround here coming in from the blue team, there's probably not much that can say that even if they did kill Lord, it would only get them up to about 300 points here, and red team with their double cap are going to be winning in about a minute. So with that said, I think, Jebro, it's pretty safe to call things early here for Pizza with Nutella. I think they're going to be getting it, which means they go on to the qualifier match, which again, if they win that one, that means they get a spot in the grand finals at late August. They'll get their opportunity to win the Legendary this time. They will have to end up taking on another team, though, and I believe their opponent is going to end up being, let me take a look here once more.
Could be 55.
55 HP Monks is going to be their opponent in the next round, so how do you think that one's going to end up going?
I don't think they'll be happy. Is one thing I will say. I think it's going to be a tough fight. There's no way that they can think it's going to be anything else. You know, 55 HP Monks, even in ESL just this week, performing so strongly, it's ridiculous. But now I will say, but Ken and Naya have played on 55 HP Monks. Naya obviously playing in 55 HP Monks for a considerable amount of time. Good friends with these guys, of course, as well. So we do know that they have some inside information. We all know the rotations of 55 HP Monks if we're watching the Cups every week, with the only addition of an Ellie, which now is really kind of just because Ranger's falling by the wayside a little bit at the moment, Ellie's going to be quite powerful, but it will be an interesting match, a little grudge match as well to see.
Alright, well that'll be coming up a little bit later on today, guys. However, we have our next match, which will be starting in just a little bit. That is going to end up being Anarchistic Gaming versus High Impact. Before we get to that, however, and before we go to the break, we're just going to say we are going to be giving away our first llama of the day. That'll be done in the chat. Once again, how it's going to work is we're going to tell Nightbot to start a giveaway. Nightbot's going to ask you to give a number between 1 and 100. Don't put the numbers in the chat until Nightbot says go. We'll say like 2 or 3 things before that, and then he'll say go, and then put the number in. He'll tell us who the winner is. Again, make sure you're following the channel, otherwise Nightbot won't be able to claim you as a winner, and as well, we don't want bots and stuff winning. So make sure you guys do follow the channel to make sure you are able to win that gem code. And the winner of, or not gem code, apologies, the winner of the llama, we're so used to saying gem code, Jebro. So once again, once that has been done,
Llama's better than the gym.
Yeah. if you do end up winning, all you need to do is send me a private message on Twitch. We'll write you down, and we'll give you more details on how to go ahead getting your llama there. But once again, guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we do come back, we're going to be bringing you Anarchistic Gaming versus High Impact. Stick around for more of the Tournament of Legends 2 European Qualifiers #1. Be right back, guys.
Thank you.